Hello friends, this is your friend back with a new fanfic. What if Naruto had the power of Darkblade and wielded a scythe part 1? If you like this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Now, this story begins in darkness, a Naruto who walks a path far from light, carrying a weapon that feeds on shadows and a power that no one can truly understand. Now, let's start. It had been a dark day for the village, a great demon had attacked and now they were recovering from the damage. The dead had been gathered and given a funeral. The people that survived grieved with great pain as they saw the total mass amount of the people that had been collected. However, now they suffered more as they said farewell to the leader that had sacrificed everything to save his precious village. The Yondaime, a man with golden hair, had given his soul to the god of death and had the demon king sealed into a child which oddly enough looked like him if you took the time to see him. The former village leader was holding the boy as he told the village who the bundle in his hands was. The child was a keeper of many secrets and the village leader was going to reveal the secrets to his people. Unfortunately, he had informed the ignorant masses of the boy's burden first. This did not go well with the people of the village as they called for the death of the child. It seemed that a riot was going to form in the village and a dark man that wanted to be village leader was going to use the boy to his advantage. Halt! A powerful voice said from behind the large gathering. You will not lay a hand on that child. A figure said dressed in all black armor. He had silver metal lining with metal spikes sticking out. On his waist was 2 swords. No flesh could be seen on him but his eyes glowed a blood red. His crimson cape flowed behind him as he began to walk forward. Who are you? The village leader said as he held the small bundle close to him. My name is Darkblade, I am what you people call a devil. The figure said, making the villagers move from him in fear. He is a friend of the demon coming to save the fox. A man said with bandages covering him. Masked men surrounded the figure as he showed no sign of being intimidated. You were barely able to survive against Kyuubi, much less me. The man said as his cape flew and the 4 closest men to him suddenly were cut into 8 pieces. I won't allow you to take Naruto. The village leader said as he showed his battle-ready gear under his ceremonial clothes. Take him, I have come to thank the boy. Darkblade said, making the village confused. Kyuubi was a tyrant, one I have been fighting to overthrow long before your village existed. Darkblade said before appearing in front of the Hokage. What wonder that a creature so small and innocent could contain the former demon king. Naruto, I on behalf of the Netherworld thank you for your noble sacrifice. Darkblade said after getting on a knee. He's lying, he is trying to trick us to keep Kyuubi safe. A council member yelled. You can't see it but I can. Kyuubi roars in pain as he is forever locked in the boy's soul. But you fools will set him free if you kill the boy. That is something I can't allow. Darkblade said as he stood and drew his sword. With my blood I give you power to stay protected. Darkblade said as his blood fell on Naruto's forehead after he sliced his wrist. What are you doing? The Hokage said as he snatched Naruto away. I'm already done. Darkblade said as black chakra flew out of everyone and surrounded Naruto. Then a body was formed, it was like a dragon's but smaller and not so ferocious. What is your name? Darkblade said as the creature looked at him. Imp. Imp. The creature said before roaring. You will protect this child with your life, no harm is to come to him while under your watch. These are the gifts from the Netherworld for saving it from true evil. Darkblade said as he handed 2 scrolls to the Hokage. In it he will find my fighting style along with a weapon style that I started with before I used these. And this is my gift. Darkblade said as dark chakra formed in his hand, making a small scythe. He placed it on Naruto with the metal far from hurting the newborn. To the surprise of the Hokage, Naruto took hold of it as to not let go. A scythe made from the Black Dragon King, there is no weapon like it in the mortal realm. Now you will be able to kill both demons and angels or anything else in the realms. Keep the boy safe, I have a netherworld to conquer. If Kyuubi is freed I will finish what he started. Darkblade said before disappearing with a black flame. Imp gave a roar as it flew around the Hokage and the blonde. Imp took the scrolls and swallowed it, making the village leader confused. The Sandaime didn't know what to do, so he dismissed the village to speak with the council on what had just happened. So what now? A man with white hair said, since the council was quiet except for the imp that was taking care of the blonde in the crib. Darkblade, I think he might have been equal in power to Kyuubi. The Hokage said, making the people in the council look at him in disbelief. You got to be kidding, there is no way such creatures can exist. A woman with pink hair said as the imp started to blow fire into the air, making the baby laugh. It doesn't matter how strong he was, what are we going to do with the demon? A civilian council member said as they turned to look at the crib with the blonde imp was flying over it, making silly faces. It seems harmless, looks like all it cares about is making Naruto happy. Inoichi said as they heard the baby make noise. I meant the fox, we can't let him survive. The council member yelled before a ball of fire hit in front of him. They turned to Imp and he was glowing red as if his flesh had become a river of molten rock. In his mouth was the liquid rock forming to make another attack. Darkblade already told you Naruto is Naruto and Kyuubi is Kyuubi. What more proof do you need? Hiyashi said, making Imp calm down and continue entertaining Naruto. The council had seemed to take the words of the Hyuga seriously before their rage tried to overtake them. They were forced to calm down when the village leader released a blood-hungry aura. No harm shall befall Naruto, the Hokage said with a serious face. Darkblade wants Naruto alive, so that he can keep Kyuubi out of hell long enough to take over it. What if he forms an army to attack here? Sume asked as the council got quiet. I don't think he would have dared. If what the Yondaime's notes are true, it's going to take a long time for Kyuubi to be destroyed. If he did create an army, he wouldn't attack because it might accidentally unleash Kyuubi. Jiraiya said as the council got quiet. Also, Darkblade didn't seem like the type to do such a thing. He might have been a demon, but he seems to have a code of honor. The Hokage said, making the bandaged man mad. He killed 4 of our men. Danzo said as the Hokage looked at him. You mean 4 of your men? I don't recall ever seeing them in the Anbu listing. Besides, you attacked him. If he really wanted to kill us, he probably could have done it with one swipe. He wants us to make sure Naruto is kept safe, which will be difficult considering the way the village sees him. Because of you idiots interrupting my speech before I can finish. The Hokage said, making the council get quiet. What are we supposed to do then? Naruto has no family, and no one is willing to take him in. The scrolls Darkblade made were swallowed by that. Shikoto said, making Imp look at him. It reached into his mouth and brought out one scroll and then the second one. Give those here, you little freak. Danzo said before Imp swallowed the scrolls again. It growled at Danzo as the man glared at the black dragon that was considered cute. That is why he ate them. You want to take them for yourself. The Hokage said, making Danzo glare. There is others that can put those things into better use than a nameless child. Danzo said, making Imp growl in rage. I don't care how you feel, those are Naruto's scrolls and no one else. I hope you do take them, that way Imp can tell Darkblade and you can have a demon come knocking on your home. The Hokage said, making Danzo look at him in a glare. That won't happen. Danzo said before a smirk grew on the Hokage. Who knows, he gave Naruto the scrolls to make him stronger, to keep him alive. If you take them, you jeopardize his plan. Plus he seems to know what is going on, so he will get you. No one noticed when he entered the village till he talked. The Hokage said, making Imp nod its head. All we need to do is keep Naruto safe and healthy. Imp will know when it is time to train him. The academy should help as well. Shibi said, getting a nod from his fellow council members. They didn't want to risk getting another Kyuubi-level demon coming to their village. Then it's decided we provided Naruto everything he needs until he becomes a shinobi capable of protecting himself. The Hokage said with a smirk before getting up and taking Naruto. Shouldn't you take that from him? Tsukumo asked as the scythe was close to poking Naruto. He won't let it go and it doesn't cut him. The Hokage said as he placed Naruto's hand on the sharp steel. The baby grabbed it and nothing happened. Then the Hokage took a kunai and placed it where Naruto had grabbed it and it was cut by the scythe. Imp. Naruto needs a change, the Hokage said as he left with the demon after him. 5 years passed and the golden blonde was running through the streets of his village with the scythe on his back. No one knew where he got it, but a black harness had suddenly appeared. It reminded the Hokage of the sheaths Darkblade had for his swords. Imp was flying after Naruto. It had not grown much in the 5 years. It was now half the size of Naruto instead of bigger like when the blonde was a newborn. It still cared for Naruto, helping the blonde with his everyday life and playing with him. They were going to the Hokage office. The village leader had something important to tell the blonde. They sneaked past the secretary and entered the office unannounced. Old man, Naruto said with a happy smile after kicking the doors open. Welcome, Naruto, the Hokage said as he took in the look of the blonde. Naruto wore a lot of black, red and orange. The Hokage figured it was because of the demon influence around the boy. I'm here, Naruto said with a smile. I can tell, please take a seat. The Hokage said as Naruto sat on the couch. The Hokage had been talking to two Chunin. One had long black hair and red eyes and the other purple hair and a stick of dango in her hand. You're right, imp, Naruto whispered to his guardian. As the Hokage continued to talk to the women in front of him. They are too pretty to be the old man's girlfriends, Naruto said, making the Hokage choke on the smoke from his pipe. Don't be telling him weird things, the Hokage said before throwing his coffee mug at Imp. The creature batted it away with his tail. Both of the attractive women laughed at the scene before the Hokage calmed down and finished his meeting with them. Naruto, I got some good news for you, the Hokage said, making the golden blonde glow. You're buying me ramen, Naruto said before Imp growled his disapproval. Not today, but you are finally old enough to enter the academy, the Hokage said, making the boy's eyes grow. Really? Naruto said in excitement, which found its way to the small dragon. Yes, I have everything ready for you. All that is needed is for you to say you want to go, the Hokage said with a smile. I'll do it, Naruto said with determination, but it wavered when the Hokage raised a hand. Naruto, being a shinobi is a difficult thing. You will have to leave Imp outside of the school. You will be interacting with other students. He can't keep people away from you. However, the final year before you graduate he can be with you. Other clans that have partners like you two will allow their children to take theirs to school. You are free to have him help you study, but he can't do the work for you. To become a shinobi you have to work hard, shedding blood and tears all of your life, the Hokage said as Naruto grew a smile. I'm not going to be a shinobi, I'm going to be the strongest in the world, Naruto said, making the Hokage a bit uneasy. Since the air the boy was giving made it seem like it was a walk in the park. When that happens you can become Hokage, the Sandaime said with a smile. Naruto's dark and serious air vanished as his mouth dropped. Really? You would make me Hokage? Naruto said in disbelief, making the older man in front of him smile. He looked at the golden blonde in front of him. The one he had cared for when Naruto couldn't even walk. He couldn't believe how time flew. Only if you become the strongest and show me that you love this village more than everyone else. A Hokage must be ready to give his life to save his people, something I hope is never needed again, the Hokage said with a sad face. I won't give my life, Naruto said, making the Hokage look at him. I'm going to be the strongest, nothing will ever beat me, Naruto said with a smile, making the village leader chuckle. I hope to see that day soon. Here is some money to buy some of the tools you will need, the Hokage said, giving Naruto a wallet that looked like a green toad. This is mine, Naruto said as he took the fat wallet. It's for taking the first steps to letting me retire. If you ever have the chance, come in here again and I'll try to tell you a bit of becoming Hokage, the Sandaime said, making the blonde smile and leave with determination. Naruto is a good kid and has shown he knows when to fight and when to keep calm. The Anbu have told me that Naruto is being trained by Imp, for what I don't know, but that dragon isn't cruel, it allows Naruto to have fun while keeping him out of trouble, the Hokage said before taking a deep breath from his pipe. I wonder what that dragon's abilities are, besides shooting a ball of molten rock, the Hokage said before starting on his paperwork. Naruto was excited even though no one could see it. Imp had thought Naruto long ago to keep a mask on as he walked in public. A serious and calm face was the best to keep people guessing. The black dragon with rock-like armor walked in front of the blonde to prevent him from getting glared by the village. It had taken almost 3 years for Konoha's populace to learn not to mess with the blonde, since it would make the dragon become aggressive. Naruto stopped at the place the Hokage had told him to get his supplies at. Imp had set a restaurant on fire after they had tried to kick Naruto out with deadly force. After that, the village leader had to find who would let the blonde shop. He was upset that it was only a small percentage. Naruto took a deep breath and went in. He was amazed at all the weapons that were available, but he was never going to trade in his scythe for anything. After Darkblade gave him the weapon, Naruto had never let it go or kept it farther than he could reach. Naruto wondered what he needed and was going to talk to the man before Imp pointed to the wallet in his hands. Naruto opened it and was surprised to see a list of the things he was going to need. He was also surprised that in his new wallet was enough money to keep him in his apartment and his stomach full for a year. Naruto and Imp looked at each other before looking at the prices of the things available. So that is Naruto. I don't get why people don't like him, he seems like any other kid that has come here. Except they didn't carry a scythe that could easily hack a man in half. The store owner thought before Naruto turned and walked out of his store. Is he going someplace else? The man thought before he saw Naruto jump to a light pole and kick off it to reach the rooftops. That is something a kid his age shouldn't be able to do. Looks like letting the kid here is going to be fun. The man said after the shock of seeing Naruto perform the trick had left him. Naruto ran to his home. He had been able to see the quality of the weapons and figured that the level the Hokage wanted him to start at was low. Since there was a set 3 times as expensive as what the Hokage told him to get. Naruto opened the door to his apartment and rushed to his dresser. He pushed it out of his way. It showed a strange seal, one that no human would ever dream of making. Imp placed a hand on it and it glowed for a moment before a black hole appeared. The little dragon reached in and brought out a steel box. Naruto opened it and brought out all the money he had saved since the first day his home had been vandalized by people. It contained money the Hokage would give him as an allowance, money to buy his food which he never did since Imp showed him how to survive off the land. It also had all of Naruto's birthday money, Christmas money, and money for spending at festivals and during the summer. Nothing Naruto ever used since Imp would make him spend his time in the woods of Konoha. They had found a forest that had been caged in steel wire. Imp had Naruto cut through the steel with his scythe, a process that took a half an hour, and both would travel into the woods to hunt what they could. The hunts had made Naruto develop a high level of strength since he would have to run after a meal or sometimes run from it. If anything ever got too dangerous, Imp would intervene. Naruto grabbed his money and began to fill his new wallet. Imp and Naruto were surprised that the wallet would never get full after the golden blonde had filled it with half of his life savings. They figured it might have a special ability and continued to fill it until no money was in the box. Naruto put the list of the things he needed since it was written by the Hokage, a man he saw as a grandfather. Almost everything given to him by the man was a part of his treasure. Naruto didn't know how to read, but Imp did, which is why the Hokage sent letters to the boy since the dragon would somehow tell him what he needed to do. The Hokage learned that the two had a bond, like they could feel and communicate with each other, but it was instant sometimes. Naruto and Imp sealed the steel box and pushed the dresser back where it belonged. They both hurried to the store. It brought a smile to the owner since now he didn't have to find the golden blonde. "You here to get things for the academy?" the man asked, making Naruto nod his head. "You starting a bit late, but it won't make a difference," the man said as he walked from his chair to help the blonde. "I'm starting late," Naruto said, making the man nod his head. "Everyone starts the academy when they are 5. The man said as Naruto looked at Imp, then at the man again. "I am 5, Naruto said, making the man's eyes grow. He stopped and began to count the years since Kyuubi attacked. He was fortunate and had lost nobody to the beast, so he didn't have a reason to remember when the beast struck. "Here, I thought you were 6 going on to 7. The man said, making Naruto look at him in confusion. "Anyways, I think I know what you need," the man said as he gave Naruto some bandages for holding kunai holders. He then gave Naruto a pouch for holding generic ninja tools and filled it with steel string, a first aid kit for beginners, some shinobi rations, and a cleaning kit for weapons. He was going to grab a kunai and shuriken combo pack. But Naruto coughed. "I want those, 2 sets please," Naruto said, pointing at the ones high on the wall. The man recognized them for being weapons only Anbu carried. They were heavier and stronger than the basic set by almost 5 times. They also had been made with seals that helped them not be affected by the environment. A person could throw them in a hurricane and still get a bullseye from 30 yards away. He smiled and reached for 2 sets. "The big ones, no reason I should worry about losing weapons anytime soon," Naruto said, making the man nod his head. "Sure, you also get this scroll to help you explain how to use these kunai," the man said, making Naruto a bit confused since he was only going to be throwing the deadly weapons. "Make sure not to lose them, otherwise we will get in trouble," the man said, bringing more confusion to the blonde. He gave the weapons to Naruto, forgetting how heavy they were. He was going to take them back before the blonde easily carried the weight. They walked over to the counter when the store owner didn't see Naruto struggle. "That's all the basic things. Once you start using chakra at school, come see me so that I can give you a few jutsus," the man said as he rang Naruto up. He got curious when the blonde placed the weapons on him like a real shinobi but showed no sign of being slowed down. "Can I see your side for a moment?" the man said, making Naruto turn to him with a glare. "I won't take it, I promise, just that I've never seen a weapon like it," the man said, making Naruto look at him. "Only for a little while," Naruto said, taking the scythe out of his harness and giving it to the man with one hand. "This thing must weigh at least 20 kilos, no wonder the holders didn't affect him," the man thought before handing the all-black scythe with a few silver decorations on its handle. "That's one hell of a weapon, make sure not to lose it," the man said as Naruto got serious. "I won't lose it, my scythe is very important to me," Naruto said before a smile grew on the man. "I have 2 seals you might want to look into," the man said as he led Naruto to a seal section. "This one makes a weapon return to its sheath, or harness, by using this jutsu. However, you have to buy both parts of the seals and put it on the harness and weapon," the man said, making Naruto look at him in awe. "As long as it isn't more than 50 miles from you, it will return," the man said, making Naruto become excited. He quickly bought the seals and the store owner helped him place it on his weapon. Naruto was amazed as the man did the needed hand seals. Before he finished, he took Naruto's hand and cut it. Naruto would have complained, but the blood was put on his harness and his scythe. The man did a few more hand seals before the seal and blood disappeared into the weapon and harness. "Now make these seals and try to focus chakra into it," the man said as Naruto slowly copied him. The golden blonde jumped in excitement as the weapon and harness suddenly appeared strapped on his back like before. "Now give me the side, we need to check if the seal on it was done right," the man said as Naruto gave him the weapon. To the shock of the blonde, the man put it inside a metal safe. "Now do these seals," the man said as Naruto copied him. Naruto was confused why he was doing them with only one hand, but soon figured out why when his scythe appeared in the free hand. "What do you think?" the man said as Naruto smiled at him. "Thank you, sir," Naruto said before strapping his scythe on the harness. "The name is Gendo, but don't mention it, just wanting to make sure my newest customer gets everything he needs," the man said before Naruto bowed his thanks and left with a smile. "It's going to be fun seeing you grow up, Naruto," the man said as the golden blonde walked out of his store. "He sure had a lot of money for a little kid," Gendo said before waiting for the next person to come in. Naruto hurried to his training ground to learn how to throw his new weapons. A month passed and it was finally time for school to start. The golden blonde showed up with new clothes that left many of his fellow students speechless. Naruto had an all-body cloak on. It didn't show one bit of his body. He had all black gloves with a Roman number 9 on them. It was surrounded by 9 fox tails. His outfit was black with some red and gold for decoration. Anyone could tell it was not designed by human hands. His face was covered with a black silk screen that came from the hood he had on. Naruto had black closed shinobi sandals, making sure nothing of him was shown. On his back was the scythe like always. Naruto smiled as he made his way through his new schoolmates. On his back was his clan symbol directly where his heart should be. Imp felt that Naruto might be corrupted by the humans if he let his master mend with them, so it created Naruto's new outfit from scales of his own body and those of his kind. Unknown to the blonde, it was like he was wearing a silk suit of armor. It would make it difficult for anything to hit him, and its softness would cushion Naruto so it wouldn't scrape him like armor plates. Imp smiled since dragon scales were stronger than steel and could take a chakra beating. It had taken the miniature dragon a long time to obtain the necessary material. Since Naruto was going to be quite indistant, he was given the veil over his face so that he could hide his facial expressions. As far as the dragon knew, no one was going to be seeing Naruto anytime soon. Naruto was having a monstrous amount of fun as he would make faces at people and they had no idea what he was doing. The bell rang and everyone had to go to their class. Attendance was called and the instructors were surprised at who answered to the name of Uzumaki Naruto. However, the black scythe on his back easily confirmed it was the golden blonde. Naruto found school to be a bit boring since all they did was read and some physical exercises to improve their balance and reflexes. 3 years passed and finally they had started to learn about wielding and using chakra, which Naruto found confusing since Iruka said chakra was usable when a person was 3. The golden blonde quickly learned hand seals and had learned one-handed seals on his own. Imp was watching over Naruto from the tree line as the golden blonde would live his school life. On weekends Naruto would go to their training ground and hunt for meat for the week. In the afternoons Naruto would train in the scrolls Darkblade had given him. The golden blonde was struggling to learn, but what he did know made him unbeatable in the class. Naruto was confused since his small class had been taken to the front of the academy after getting checked in. There was a group of adults with children. Naruto wondered why they were here. "Everyone, these are going to be your new friends," Iruka said as the clan children were introduced. Naruto didn't like it that they were allowed to start on his grade while he had to work hard for 3 years. Iruka explained how clan children were allowed to learn the basics from home since they had their own taijutsu styles. Naruto wanted to complain but knew otherwise. He couldn't allow his emotions to make him do rash things. Class had returned to normal except the fact that the clan students had quickly risen to the top. However, they could not beat Naruto. The golden blonde had quickly gained the respect of Iruka since he was able to absorb so much. The Chunin had given Naruto private lessons in the afternoon after he found the blonde reading in the library. After that, Iruka would push Naruto with harder things. His colleague thought the Chunin was trying to break the blonde, so when it was time for physical work he made things harder. The other students were allowed to rest but Naruto had to continue working hard. It usually ended with students passed out on the floor from exhaustion as Naruto continued the training Mizuki gave him. "How long can he last?" Iruka said coming out of the classroom after finishing grading school work. "I don't know, you think the fox has something to do with it?" Mizuki said, making Iruka get a bit mad. "I don't sense any malice, do you?" Iruka said, making Mizuki look at the black cloaked figure. "Know a lot of chakra but nothing like what the fox made so long ago," Mizuki said as he saw Naruto continue to run with a cinder block being dragged. "Everyone, that's enough time to go in," Iruka said as Naruto finished his last lap around the school grounds. Naruto hurried to walk behind the instructors as the class walked behind him. This was a month before the clan children joined. Since the Chunin didn't want to get in trouble for overworking their students, they would train Naruto after school was over. Iruka would give Naruto lessons as Mizuki would train Naruto physically. Both Chunin were amazed at how much the blonde could do. Iruka and Mizuki were both orphans like Naruto. All three had their parents killed by the fox. However, Iruka and Mizuki remembered how they were plagued by clan children doing their things with ease. Now they were helping Naruto show that hard work could defeat a genius, as the clans referred to themselves. Then a dark day happened in Konoha. The prestigious Uchiha clan had been slaughtered by their highest rank prodigy. Only survivor was Sasuke. Iruka and Mizuki were ordered to make things easier for the Uchiha so that he wouldn't break. They had to stop training Naruto but made sure to continue giving him a training schedule. Iruka and Mizuki wanted to keep Naruto's skill a secret so they would never make him fight a clan child, plus the blonde wasn't the bragging type. His grades were kept hidden from the public, and when they had to give public praise they would only say he did good. But the blonde knew they meant something more. It was 3 months after the Uchiha massacre and Naruto had yet to say a word in class. He was sitting in his chair taking notes before someone stood in front of him. He looked up and was surprised to find the platinum-haired girl named Ino. "My daddy said you're a blonde like me," Ino said, making Naruto confused. "Is it true?" a pink-haired girl said from behind the platinum-haired girl. Naruto just stared at the two girls, showing no sign of answering them. He went back to his reading. Everyone in class watched as Ino tried to remove the hood but couldn't. They laughed since Naruto would continue to read his book. "What are you two doing?" Iruka said, coming into the class and seeing Ino and Sakura pulling on Naruto's clothes. "Is Naruto a blonde?" Ino said as the instructors look at each other. "No one knows. Naruto was encased in his cloak from birth. It's one of his family's tradition. He is never supposed to take it off, because if anyone ever sees his face, he has to kill them," Mizuki said in a scary tone, making the two girls jump from the cloaked blonde. "Don't listen to him, he's just joking, but Naruto is allowed to wear what he wants as long as it doesn't interfere with his abilities," Iruka said before starting the class for that day. The door opened and the school director came in. She had a large smile before going to the two Chunin and pulling them to the side. "What?" both men said in shock. "Get them outside now," the school director said before leaving. "Shit, I'll tell Naruto to hold back," Mizuki said, making Iruka shake his head, saying no. "Naruto won't lose, we need to find a way to get him from having to fight anyone too strong." I think I know how. Uruka said with a smile. The class had been told to go to the main grounds. There was going to be a tournament per grade to see how much they had grown. The instructors of the school knew that the council wanted to see who was the strongest. Many hated how they would make the children fight each other for their entertainment. I can't wait to see how everyone has grown. The Hokage said with a smile. I hope that what happened with the Uchiha clan has not affected the children. Soon said since clan children had been told about the Uchiha massacre. I don't see Naruto. The Hokage said as the classes began to appear. About that Naruto is helping at the hospital to make up for some class work. Mizuki said before the council could start to search for the golden blonde. Couldn't it be cancelled? This is kind of important. Inoichi said making Mizuki laugh sheepishly. We would, but the hospital needs help and Naruto has a lot of stamina, so his presence lets them concentrate on more important things. Mizuki said as the Hokage nodded his head. We will have to wait until next time then. The Hokage said making Mizuki smile. It would have made things easier for us if you would have told us in advance, that way we might not set things up for the same day. Mizuki said getting a nod from the council. We will do that. The Hokage said as the classes not learning ninjutsu finished fighting. Uruka and Mizuki have done a good job training the students. The children without bloodlines are almost as impressive as our own. Hiyashi said making Mizuki flinch. Uruka and him had never taken into account the extra strength of the others from all the fights they had against Naruto. Excellent strength, can't expect anything else from the Uchiha clan. Sakura's mom said with a smile. He wasn't that strong. The boy that was being treated after his fight with Sasuke said making the Uchiha and council glare at him. Don't be a sore loser, you'll get him next time. Mizuki said hoping to keep the student quiet. I'm not mad I lost, it's just he isn't as strong as Naruto. The boy said making everyone watching confused. It's good you stand up for your friend but you need to conserve your strength. Mizuki said before slipping 1,000 ryo bill in the hand of the student. Be quiet. Mizuki whispered making the boy nod his head. Is there something you are not telling us? Danzo said making Mizuki pale a bit. Naruto has never lost a fight. A female student said making the council look at her in disbelief. He's never gotten hurt ever or even gets tired. Another boy said making Mizuki wish Uruka was here to bail him out. Isn't his score average? Shibi asked. It is, but Naruto has had so much experience dodging certain people that his reflexes are more developed than others. Uruka said making Mizuki thank God. I see, but I find it hard to believe Sasuke couldn't even touch him. Tsukumo said making Sasuke grunt. I've never fought him. Sasuke said before waiting for his next opponent. And why is that? The Hokage said turning to Uruka. Naruto doesn't have a clan so he won't be able to help Sasuke and the other bloodline carriers grow stronger since his skill is lower than theirs. Uruka said making the council smirk with pride. The Hokage was going to say something but got cut off when Mizuki made Kiba fight Shino. Sasuke had won his class tournament and had won a jutsu. Naruto on the other hand was doing intense training for the afternoon. The golden blonde got home and was surprised that the Hokage had come to see him. Old man, Naruto said after seeing the village leader. How you've been, Naruto? The man said with a kind face. I've been well, anything I can help you with? Naruto asked after leading the village leader to his home. Actually there is something. The Hokage said as Naruto put tea in front of the sandaime along with a few snacks. I've heard that you have never lost a fight. The Hokage said making Naruto smile. The golden blonde would change to regular clothes after his training was over or during off days. I'm going to become the strongest in the world. That can't happen if I lose against people weaker than me. Naruto said making the Hokage laugh. No you can't, but I want to know what you think of the clan children. The Hokage said making Naruto study him. You want to know if I think I can beat them? Naruto said making the Hokage a bit surprised. I don't know, to be honest, there is a lot of things that can happen during a fight. Naruto said making the Hokage smile. Good, because being arrogant and overconfident can be lethal. The Hokage said making Naruto nod his head. Is there anything else, old man? The Naruto asked as the Hokage stood up. How is your training? The Hokage said making Naruto think. Going well I guess, but I won't know until the Genin exams are here. Bunshin is giving me a lot of trouble, but I'm bound to figure out something sooner or later. Naruto said before the Hokage gave him some money and left. Naruto continued his life of hard training, Everything was easy until the council appeared once more without warning. Iruka and Mizuki cursed their luck since Hiyashi had been the one to tell them to assemble outside for the tournament. 2 years had passed since the first one, and 4 times Iruka and Mizuki had gotten enough luck to hide the golden blonde. The council along with the Hokage were surprised to see the black-clad student standing like a professional warrior. That look will bring nightmares to Konoha's enemies. Danzo said with a smile. I've never seen this side of Naruto, the Hokage said as the blonde fought off his opponents with ease. The students saw that he was masterly blocking them, but the council along with seasoned shinobi can see he was allowing the blows to reach him. Naruto had defeated his bracket of opponents and had done it at record time. Another thing that had the two Chunin glowing with pride is that Naruto was calm during his fights. Never did he charge his opponent, nor was he packing too much power, just enough to knock them out for the win. Naruto stood with ease as he stared down Sasuke. The Uchiha was standing with arrogance as if he had already won the match. This will be a good match, Tsun said as Sasuke got into his family style while Naruto still stood tall. Make this quick, Mizuki whispered to Naruto before signaling to begin. Sasuke charged Naruto and threw a few punches and kicks. The student were amazed at the speed being shown as Naruto dodged from his strikes. Before anyone knew what happened, Naruto had led Sasuke to the edge of the ring and pushed him on the back out of the ring. Sasuke had thrown a roundhouse, but Naruto had ducked under it and then did the push to Sasuke's exposed back. Sasuke had turned to continue the fight, but Iruka stopped him. You stepped out, Iruka said as Sasuke looked at the red line in front of his feet. But our fight isn't over yet, Sasuke said as Mizuki gave out a light laugh. You need to learn, Sasuke, that not all the missions you will take in the future require you to fight. This shows you need to be more aware of your environment. I think it's time for the others to start, Mizuki said as the teachers for the next class started to prepare their students. They have a lot of explaining to do, the Hokage said as Iruka and Mizuki led Naruto to them. Naruto stared in silence at the Hokage and council members. You fought well, more than deserving of a jutsu, Danzo said with a smile. He was impressed at the skill the living weapon showed. Is there a reason why you never told us how much of a gem the boy is? Hiyashi asked, making the Chunin uneasy. Naruto isn't talented, Iruka said, making the leader of the village confused. We have beaten everything Naruto knows into him. At first we wanted to just push him, but then we wanted to know his limit. After that we just got used to seeing how much Naruto could take in, Mizuki said as Naruto stood between his instructors. Naruto has a lot of determination, something any instructor would love to have in all his students. However, after the incident with the Uchiha clan we stopped training him. We are proud to see he has continued his training on his own, Iruka said with a smile. So Naruto, what kind of jutsu will you like? Tsun said, making the serious atmosphere leave. I think a new Bunshin would be good for him, Mizuki said, making the adults look at him. We've done everything to get Naruto to master Bunshin no Jutsu, but he just can't get it. He mastered the seals by memory and we know he has the mental strength and chakra understanding, Iruka said as the adults look at the scythe-carrying figure. Except the stupid clones keep coming out wrong. Last year we did a mock exam for Naruto based on the Genin exam, Mizuki said with a serious face. Naruto passed everything, except the Bunshin. He knows Shushin but can't get the clones to come out right, Iruka said, making everyone look at the boy. His physical strength is a high Genin, his speed mid Genin, his intelligence low Chunin and his chakra low Junin, Mizuki said, making the council look at the blonde in disbelief. I think because of a certain condition of Naruto his chakra is extremely high, it makes it hard for him to control it into making simple things. It took Naruto a week to master Shushin and for the last 2 years he can't make anything else but this, Iruka said as Naruto did Bunshin no Jutsu, making a hideous clone on the ground. We think it's because he has so much chakra that he can't stop from overflowing his jutsu. We tried improving his control but all it does is increase his massive reserves, Mizuki said as Naruto still showed no sign of being happy about the praise given to him. Give him an elemental Bunshin, the Hokage's male advisor said, making everyone look at him. Everyone knows how hard it is to use elemental Bunshin, so give him one and see if it helps. Otherwise we will have to come up with a revised exam for people with his condition, the female advisor said, making the council uneasy. True, it would be hard on the village to lose potential shinobi only because they have too much chakra. The male advisor said, making everyone calm down. You two continue your training of Naruto. Sasuke seems to only care about jutsus right now. Hiyashi said as the raven-haired boy was glaring at their direction. Here is some money to get Naruto his jutsu. Buy it for him after school is over, however keep him as much as a secret as possible. Wouldn't want our enemies to get word on him. Danzo said, making the Hokage glare at him. What do you mean by that, Danzo? The Hokage said. The boy has clearly shown to be stronger than the last Uchiha, which is understandable considering who he is. It is for the benefit of Konoha to have a hidden ace while the world only sees Sasuke. Or would you rather have people doing that to the boy? Danzo said, pointing at Sasuke as he was surrounded by fangirls. No, not really. The Hokage said after releasing a sigh. Naruto will help protect Konoha, and once he becomes a shinobi the world will know his power. Danzo said with a smirk. No, I don't want anyone graduating early anymore, or did you all forget what happened to Itachi and Kakashi? Both became unstable from not having a normal childhood. Naruto will graduate with those of his age. The Hokage said with a commanding tone. As you wish, besides more training right now will probably be best for him. Danzo said before leaving. I'll go get that jutsu for Naruto, you keep an eye on the class. Mizuki said before Naruto took the money from Iruka and both ran out of the academy grounds. He sure is in a rush to help Naruto. Shikoto said, making Iruka smirk. Mizuki was changing, he was becoming dark, but Naruto took all the rage Mizuki had, probably some left over from the day his mother died. Now Mizuki can devote himself to helping train Naruto, since Naruto can become what he can't. Iruka said before they went on to see the next rounds of fights. 2 years passed and it was finally time for the exams. Iruka and Mizuki had been able to keep Naruto's abilities a secret, which was difficult with all the numbers of times Sasuke had wanted to fight him. The golden blonde had easily become the tallest in his class with the strict eating habits Iruka and impounded on him. Plus his body training with Mizuki had caused him to grow a powerful frame. The two Chunin had worked every little thing they could into the golden blonde to grow stronger, and they were amazed at what they had helped bring out. Also they had trained alongside of Naruto, which had made them stronger than before even though they had not noticed it. Naruto was called into a private class to take his genin exam. He had aced the taijutsu, death course, exam, and now was the time for the ninjutsu part. Naruto had blown through the kawarimi and henge and now had to show his bunshin. K's bunshin no jutsu. Iruka said since Naruto was not going to talk. The black-clad reaper, as people his age nicknamed him, had made 6 bodies out of thin air. This jutsu works like the bunshin except it makes clones out of air, giving them solid form. Since Naruto doesn't talk, his enemies would expect it to be just a plain clone they can phase through. Mizuki said with pride as the director of the school growled she didn't like the fact the village's burden had suddenly start growing so powerful. Naruto had won all 6 tournaments after his first one. Naruto took his headband and removed the cloth. To everyone's surprise, he also took off a piece of his cloak and it had a place for the headband. Now the metal plate was on Naruto's right forearm, which was the arm he used for his scythe. Naruto then bowed to the examiners and the 2 instructors before going back to his class. Once everyone had been tested, they were allowed to go home after learning of when to meet again. I'm going to miss helping him, Mizuki said as they saw Naruto go home since no one was around to congratulate him. No one said we had to stop, there is still a lot about life he is going to need help with. Iruka said as both instructors went on to finish gathering the final grades and putting them in the record. It's good to see Naruto passed, Danzo said in the council room after they had received the exam results. Passed, he aced the exam, Shuza said after reading his file. His yearly performance is low, from all the genin his overall grade makes him dead last. Kaharu said with a smile. Naruto doesn't like drawing attention, he just does enough to pass, the Hokage said before they started to make the teams of new genin. Naruto was having a great day, he was a real shinobi and had been able to buy new jutsu scrolls. He bought everything he could and then went on to study. Because of Naruto's size, Imp was able to ride his shoulder. They went to take the registration photo and the black dragon made sure to stay out of sight. Naruto was walking home when he heard some noise coming from the woods. He walked with Imp and was surprised to find 2 of his classmates fighting. It was the pink-haired Sakura and the platinum-haired Ino. They cursed each other for an hour before rolling around the ground and pulling each other's hair. Naruto watched as both girls fought for 3 hours straight while repeating they were the best one for Sasuke. It was 3 past midnight before both beaten girls woke up after knocking each other out. They turned after hearing something cut the wind. To their eyes Naruto looked like some mystical deity as he did a dance with his scythe, never removing his foot from the tip of the rock spike he was on. His golden spiked blonde hair flowed in the air as sweat droplets were carried by wind. The full moon's light made his otherworld beauty grow. A roar came from the woods, making the girls turn when they returned to look at Naruto. He had his hood back on and was walking away with his scythe strapped on his back. Both girls looked at each other before looking towards the woods to see Naruto disappear into the darkness. Naruto got chewed out by Imp about removing his hood, but the blonde said it was too dark for them to see everything. The golden blonde was training before hearing some noise come from the trees outside the training ground he used near his house. He turned with a calm step before Ino came out. "Hi," Ino said with a smile. Naruto turned and walked away from her. "Wait, I want to pay you back for watching over us the other night," Ino said as Naruto turned to look at her. He turned away once more, making Ino a bit upset. She had spent a while preparing the picnic basket she made. Ino loved mystery men, plus Naruto had bested Sasuke like swatting a fly, yet he showed a kind side, or at least a loyal one, by watching over them until they woke up. Ino growled with rage before rushing to grab Naruto. Her hand landed on his shoulder before he turned into a blast of air and smoke. Ino stood with her mouth hanging open since she had never seen her classmate display such a technique. 2 days later Naruto was once again happily training on a new jutsu when he heard that familiar sound. This time Sakura appeared, but she didn't have a basket of food. "Sorry for interrupting, but thanks for the other day. I'll see you around," Sakura said, getting a nod from Naruto. She left a few moments after that. Naruto wondered why Ino couldn't had made things as easy as Sakura. Just to be safe, Naruto disappeared with a shushin. Sakura's mouth was left hanging since Naruto had used a Chunin-level jutsu with ease. She hadn't even seen him use his hands. It was finally the day that the students had to return to learn their team listing. Imp was laughing with Naruto since the blonde had grown so tall and developed that the dragon was able to hide in the clothes he wore. Imp was carefully grabbing onto Naruto as his head looked over the blonde's shoulder. They watched as Naruto's classmates came in. Many were surprised and irritated that Naruto had grown a bit more once again. Iruka and Mizuki looked at their masterpiece with pride before looking at shock at the team Naruto was going to be in. They had turned in a detailed report of Naruto's skill, but they had still placed him as dead last. Team 7 is Uzumaki Naruto, Haruno Sakura and Uchiha Sasuke. Mizuki said, making everyone look at the 3 top students. "Sensei, that isn't fair putting them together. Sakura will take advantage of Naruto's and Sasuke's power. She is going to let them do all the fighting while she just cheers them on," Ino said, making Sakura turn to her with rage. "You might find this hard to believe, but Naruto's yearly grade left him as the dead last. Which is why he had to be teamed up with the 2 top students," Iruka said, making Mizuki smirk. "Speaking about exams, Naruto, congratulations on winning Rookie of the Year for obliterating the school records on all the subjects available," Mizuki said, making the other students speechless. They had expected Sasuke to win Student of the Year. "Hell yeah, a genius loses to hard work," the boy that had stood up for Naruto said, making Sasuke glare at him. "When was this decided?" Sasuke said with a glare at the Chunin. "On the day of the exams Naruto had received the special diploma by the director. You didn't tell the others," Iruka said, making Naruto just lift his shoulders in a lazy way before returning to his book about chakra manipulation. "Let's continue," Mizuki said before naming the rest of the class on what teams they will be in. The students had been allowed to go eat before having to report back. Sakura was left hurt as Sasuke and Naruto headed to different directions with no care about building teamwork. Naruto ate some rice balls he bought while sitting on the top of Hokage Tower. He loved shushin since it made traveling easier. He turned his head to look at the Hokage. "Congratulations, Rookie of the Year," the Hokage said with a smile. "Thanks, old man," Naruto said after Imp finished sniffing the air and giving him the okay that it was not a clone or someone in disguise. The black dragon crawled out from the opening of the large cloak in the bottom. The Hokage rose an eyebrow before laughing at the way Naruto kept his friend a secret from the others. "I have something for you, Naruto," the Hokage said, giving Naruto a scroll. It's a jutsu that came in handy during the war. I think you should be able to handle it. The Hokage said as Naruto stood and took the item. You sure have grown, my boy. I remember when I had to carry you in my hands. The Hokage said with a gentle laugh. It won't be long now, old man, you'll get your rest soon. Naruto said with a smile. Naruto would always remove the mask when the Hokage came to see him. I know I will. Naruto, I'm proud of you and I know your parents would be too. You keep training, I'll be waiting at the top. The Hokage said before walking away. Naruto reached up and found a tear coming from his eyes. He had never received such praise like that before. I think that old man just made me want to give him an early retirement. Naruto said before putting his hood on. Imp crawled up his back before they vanished with a shushin. It's good to see that Naruto was kept safe at this rate. I don't think I will need to check in on him. Darkblade said from the shadows before disappearing with the black flames once more. Naruto closed his book on chakra manipulation and found that his team had yet to leave from the classroom, something that upset him. He looked at his teammates. Sasuke was brooding as drool was coming from the sleeping Sakura. Naruto and Sasuke turned to look at a man walk in. He looked pretty plain except for the gravity-defying hair and the way his headband covered his left eye. Team 7 on the roof in 5. The man said before disappearing. Sasuke stood and began to head out while Naruto turned to look at the still sleeping Sakura. He let out a sigh and carried her bridal style before using shushin to reach the top of the building. He wished he hadn't, since the act had woken up Sakura, making her suddenly flip around while in his hands. Her movements got worse since they had dropped in as their instructor was enjoying his book a little too much. I said 5 minutes. The Junin said as he struggled to cover himself while Sakura screamed pervert. Naruto turned from the Junin and wrapped his cloak around Sakura, engulfing her in darkness. Sakura looked up as Naruto pulled her close while the Junin screamed about catching his thing with the zipper of his pants. Imp let out a sound of disgust that made Sakura laugh since she thought it had been Naruto. She blushed since she had never felt abs like the ones next to her arm as Naruto made some distance from the screaming Junin. What the hell is going on? Sasuke said as he opened the roof only to run into the Junin. Both fell down the stairs leading to the second floor and ended up in a disturbing situation. Naruto's cloak moved off Sakura's head as the blonde closed the door of the stairs and let out a sigh. Naruto looked down at Sakura and saw her blushing. We should never speak about this. Naruto said, making Sakura shocked. Naruto's voice seemed like something out of a dream. It was full of power, yet it was calming when it reached her ears. Naruto lowered her to the ground and unwrapped his hand from her after getting a feel she wasn't going to collapse. Naruto then went and sat in the shadow of a tree. You can talk, Sakura said, making Naruto look at her. Why don't you? Sakura said after Naruto nodded his head. You should do it more often, Sakura said after Naruto lifted his shoulders to say he didn't know why he didn't. Sensei wanted me to give you this, Sasuke said after opening the door of the stairs. Sakura's and Naruto's eyes grew as some white, almost milky substance was in Sasuke's hair. Sakura jumped back from Sasuke when he tried to hand her one. Naruto used his scythe to grab his and Sasuke put Sakura's copy since she wasn't going to get it anytime soon. Sasuke left and his teammates didn't inform him about the substance in his air. Sakura looked at Naruto. Naruto read his paper over before disappearing with shushin to prepare for the exam their Junin instructor had. Sakura turned to leave and wondered what grudge Kami had against her. Naruto entered his favorite shinobi store and walked into the projectile section. He got 2 more packs of the high-grade kunai and shuriken. The packs he had now were still full, but Imp had just added 2 more pockets areas for extra weapons or scrolls. Naruto brought the packs over to the counter and waited for someone come ring him up. A girl with 2 hair buns came from the back with a smile it almost left when she saw Naruto. Naruto lifted his wallet and shook it a bit to bring her back into reality. I know that wallet, the store owner said, making the girl turn to him. Who is this To-san? The girl asked as she studied Naruto. One of my top customers, so here to add more weapons to your arsenal, the man said with a smile, making Naruto nod his head. I just got in 2 more styles, you want to buy them to study them? The man said, making Naruto nod his head. That's a taijutsu and a kenjutsu style, neither blends with the other. The girl thought as the cloaked stranger paid for the things he was taking. You take care, and if you need anything else just ask. the store owner said before Naruto bowed his head in a thankful manner. So? The girl asked, making her dad look at her. So what? Her dad said while going back to do his smithing. You're not going to tell me who he is? The girl said with a mad face. Oh, you'll be hearing about him soon enough. Her dad said with a smile before closing the door to his smith yard. What is that supposed to mean? The girl said before going outside to see if she could get a glimpse of the cloaked figure. Naruto had used a shushin to leave. He loved the technique, but it wasn't flashy enough for him. He had decided after a year of being to do it with ease that he needed to make his own version. He was practicing his one-arm swings with his side while using the other hand to read the books he had just purchased. Imp was reading over his shoulder since it had nothing else to do. After the limited workout was finished, he went home to rest. The next day his team was waiting at the training ground the Junin had picked. Sasuke glared at him. Naruto assumed it was because no one warned him about the substance in his hair yesterday's afternoon. Sakura looked upset but mostly sleepy. Naruto, like always, kept a safe distance from them and just sat in the shadow of a tree, making it hard to see him. 4 hours passed before Imp woke Naruto up about the Junin appearing. The man was radiating bloodlust, which Naruto found was justified. Sakura sunk behind her teammates as the Junin brought 3 very expensive and delicious bentos to show them. Since yesterday was chaotic, I am going to tell you a bit about myself. My name is Hitaki Kakashi. I hate brats. I like hurting brats. And my dream is to crush 3 certain brats. Kakashi said as his right eye looked ready to shoot out flames. Why don't you go next, Pinky? Kakashi said, making Sakura flinch. My name is Haruno Sakura. My dream. Sakura paused to look at Sasuke and then their instructor. Is to die of old age. I hate jerks that don't understand. No. Sakura said, making Kakashi calm 1% of his rage. I'm the Uchiha Sasuke. I hate fangirls and sickos. My ambition is to kill a certain man and revive my clan. Sasuke said as he started to release a dark aurora. Sakura scooted from him and latched onto Naruto for protection without even thinking. Team 7 turned to Naruto, who stood silent for 5 minutes. Enough introductions. Today's test you will survive against me. Take a bell. If you do that, then you won't be sent back to the academy as losers. Kakashi said with a dark eye smile. Also, the one without a bell is going to be tied to one of these posts while I eat their deluxe Akimichi bento. Kakashi said with a maniacal laugh. So this is why he told us not to eat. Sakura and Sasuke thought while their stomach growled. Team 7 turned to Naruto. There was a sandwich in his hand that would disappear into his silk screen before they heard eating noise. You got 2 hours to get a bell. Come with the intent to kill, otherwise you won't get one. Begin. Kakashi said as Sakura and Sasuke jumped into the woods. Naruto disappeared with his shushin to get more sandwiches. The one that had eaten was Imp and not him. He had actually listened to the note and had not eaten. Kakashi's blind rage had almost left him after seeing that his team had some skill. Sakura and Sasuke were hiding in the trees and bushes while seeing if Kakashi was going to do something. They turned to a spike of chakra near the lake and Naruto appeared with a brown bag. Are those meat buns? Kakashi said, making Naruto nod his head. You went to get something to eat. You're supposed to get a bell if you want food. Kakashi said as Naruto shook his head, saying no. A meat bun disappeared into his silk screen before the sound of a satisfied stomach filled the air. You still have to get a bell if you want to be a real shinobi. Kakashi said, getting Naruto to nod his head before he sat on a rock and enjoyed his breakfast. Kakashi turned to the direction of 2 growling stomachs. The Junin quickly turned and pulled out a kunai to block the side Naruto had swung at him. Such speed and power. Hokage-sama was right in saying he wasn't a normal kid. Kakashi said before jumping back. His kunai had already been cut through halfway by Naruto's side. The cloak figure swung his scythe, making the useless weapon fall out. To Kakashi's surprise, the genin had sat down and enjoyed his meal. Kakashi lowered his guard before having to jump from the earth, wanting to collapse under him. He turned to Naruto and felt him release chakra. Jutsus without seals. This is something the Hokage didn't tell me about. Kakashi thought as the cracked earth returned to normal. What was that jutsu? Sasuke said with a whisper as Kakashi stared down Naruto. Looks like the academy didn't do a proper job on labeling your skill. Kakashi said as Naruto finished the last of his meat buns and stood. He brought his scythe from its harness and had it to his side with his right arm as he ran towards Kakashi. I know that Scythe is supposed to be of master quality, so close-range combat is out of the question, Kakashi said before making seals. Kaden, Gamaiu Amuden, Kakashi yelled before launching a stream of fire at Naruto. Naruto jumped and the fire shot under him. Kaden, Gamaiu Amuden, Kakashi yelled again since Naruto didn't have a chance to escape this time. Another chakra spike, Kakashi said before looking at the ground to see what kind of earth jutsu was going to hit him this time. To his shock, water flowed from the lake and made a wall in front of Naruto, protecting him from the deadly flames. Naruto landed on the ground before bringing his scythe back, looking like he was going to swing something away. Two different elemental jutsus. What is he planning now? Kakashi said as Naruto's chakra spiked a third time before he swung his scythe with massive force. Kakashi's eye grew as a powerful wind smashed into him. Wind? What is this kid made of? Kakashi thought before using Kawarimi to escape. Sakura and Sasuke saw as the log was then shredded to pieces by the powerful wind before it died down. Naruto brought his scythe to his back before reaching into his coat and bringing out another bag of meat buns. He disappeared with Shushin only to make Sakura jump when he appeared behind her. This is for me, Sakura said as Naruto offered her the food and 2 cans of tea. Sakura took the items and was going to thank Naruto before he disappeared once more. If it wasn't for the spikes of chakra, I wouldn't know where he was at. That's something I am going to have to fix, Kakashi thought with a smile. Naruto's skill and kindness to his teammates made Kakashi forget his rage. Sasuke and Sakura were eating the food Naruto brought as he rested for another attack on Kakashi. Even my best jutsus couldn't touch him, Naruto thought as Imp growled. That might work, Naruto said before placing his scythe on his back and walking towards the large chakra source. You two seem to be enjoying yourself, Kakashi said as he hanged upside down from a tree branch. Sakura jumped back with a kunai only to have Kakashi turn her while he had a hand seal. Sakura screamed before falling over from pure fright. Genjutsu. I won't fall so easily, Sasuke said with a glare. No, the one that won't lose is Naruto. You have to get a bell before you end up like her, Kakashi said, making Sasuke growl. He can't beat me, Sasuke said before charging Kakashi. Sasuke punched and kicked with skill far surpassing normal people his age. However, in the end the Uchiha had been toyed by Kakashi. Kaden, Gukaku no Jutsu, Sasuke yelled as a ball of fire smashed into Kakashi. Not bad, but the delivery was slow compared with the speed Naruto used his jutsus, Kakashi said as Sasuke looked around to find the Junin. Down here, Kakashi said as he yanked Sasuke into the ground. You seem a little down, Sasuke, Kakashi said with his eye smile before turning to block a punch. Naruto threw 2 more in a leg swipe, making the Junin jump back. 2 clones appeared out of thin air at Naruto's side. Kakashi prepared for a charge before a clone picked up Sakura and ran off with her. The second clone began to walk back with its scythe drawn. So he was only helping Sakura, he must know she wouldn't last long, Kakashi thought before the real Naruto charged at him again. Kakashi threw a kick and Naruto blocked with his knee before throwing another right punch. Kakashi blocked it before his stomach was hit by the bottom blunt tip of Naruto's scythe. His left hand. I thought he was right-handed, Kakashi thought as the blow knocked him back. He looked down with confusion as a black rock-filled tail had wrapped around his leg, making him trip. Naruto brought his scythe on Kakashi using both hands to spin it to gain more force. Kakashi caught the safe side of the blade to prevent from hitting. To his shock, it was heavy, but there was no force pushing on him. Naruto had jumped back when he saw Kakashi was going to catch his attack. Imp had let go of Kakashi's leg and crawled up his master's back. Another chakra spike, Kakashi thought as he saw electricity gather at Naruto's left hand while his right made an unknown seal to the Junin's eye. He pinned me down for this one moment, Kakashi thought as the bells were magnetically pulled towards the electric-filled hand. Naruto closed his hand once the bells had landed. He quickly put it inside his cloak. Kakashi tossed the scythe to the side before standing up. Naruto made a final hand seal with his right hand before showing the open left. His scythe reappeared ready to strike. Interesting, I was wondering why you finally let go of your precious scythe, Kakashi said before they heard the alarm sound saying the test was over. Let's go wait for the others, Kakashi said as he led Naruto to the log post. 4 different elements and he used them all without seals. It greatly limits their power, but with the chakra he just threw away with ease makes it pointless to him. I'm going to have fun training him. Kakashi thought before the 2 Naruto clones appeared with Sakura. Naruto took the sleeping girl and nodded a thanks to his clones as they disappeared with a light breeze. An elemental bunshin. You know they are only a tenth as strong as you, right? Kakashi said, making Naruto nod his head. It's not being able to buy stronger jutsus. Naruto said, making Kakashi look at him in disbelief. Naruto-kun. Sakura said with a sleepy voice as the blonde carried her bridal style once more. Half an hour later Sasuke appeared with dirt covering his clothes. Sakura was still sleeping in Naruto's hands as Kakashi told him about how he planned to stop the blonde's chakra from snitching him out. "Ah, good for you to join us," Kakashi said before disappearing and pinning Sasuke to the ground. "Why did you tie me up?" Sasuke yelled as Kakashi made an eye smile. "You didn't have a bell," Kakashi said, making Sasuke look at Naruto and the sleeping Sakura. Naruto had one tied to his side as Sakura had one in her hands as she slept. A cold wind blew and she instantly snuggled closer to Naruto for warmth. "Since you already ate, this shouldn't bother you too much," Kakashi said as Naruto woke Sakura up and put her on the ground. "I don't know about you, but all that fighting made me hungry," Kakashi said as he and Naruto ate while Sakura was trying to figure out what was going on. "How did I get a bell?" Sakura said as she looked at the item tied to her pinky. "Naruto gave it to you after he took them from me. He showed team spirit by making sure that you were not left behind." Sasuke did well for his age, but there was only 2 bells. Kakashi said with an eye smile. "You took a bell from Kakashi-sensei," Sakura said, making Naruto nod his head. "How?" Sakura said, making Naruto look at her. Sasuke had also quitted down to hear how his rival did it. Sasuke figured after all he saw using Naruto and Kakashi would help him grow stronger. He asked for them. Kakashi said with his eye smile, making the genin look at him with shock. Imp was glad no one could see the smile on Naruto. "We were allowed to do that?" Sakura asked. "All I said was you had to get the bells, never how you had to do it," Kakashi said with his lazy voice. "Now then, let's go home, tomorrow starts the real training," Kakashi said as he and Naruto stood up. Sakura had no idea when they had finished eating. Naruto placed a hand on Sakura's shoulder. She turned to him and saw his black-gloved hand point at Sasuke. "You want me to untie him?" Sakura said before she felt his hand leave her. She turned and found that Kakashi and Naruto had disappeared with Shushin. Naruto went to go train with the jutsu the Hokage had given him. A smile grew on his and Imp's face. Kakashi had entered the room where he was to report if his team passed or failed. He walked with a bored and lazy step as he read his favorite book. He was using this image to hide the smug look on his face. "It's good to see you join us on time," the Hokage said, making Kakashi look at the clock. "I think I dropped my wallet," Kakashi said before some Junin stepped in front of the door. "That can wait, why don't we start talking about this year's graduates?" the Hokage said after Kakashi turned and stood next to his friends. Like every year, most of the teams were showing the lack of maturity to pass. "So Kakashi, how did your team do this year?" the Hokage asked with a smile. Ruruka and Mizuki were also smiling. "They failed to work as a team, but 2 of them got bells," Kakashi said, never looking from his book. "It must have been Sasuke and Sakura, they were ranked as the top of the class," a Junin said from the back. "Actually, Naruto got both bells and gave one to Sakura after I knock her out with a genjutsu." Sasuke was up to his head with dirt when that happened, Kakashi said while turning a page. "How did the boy get the bells?" an older Junin said before having to correct himself from glares from the Hokage and 2 Chunin. "He bombarded me with different elemental attacks until he got close enough to pin me to the ground. I would say he is near the borderline of being Chunin," Kakashi said, never looking at the shocked look of the people in the room. "Explain," the Hokage said, making Kakashi look up to him. "He started with Doden, blocked with Suiden, countered-attacked with Futon, and got the bells with Raiden. He also used Shushin and Bunshin with ease during the fight. Not to mention he did this to my kunai with his scythe," Kakashi said, showing the half-cut weapon. "How did he learn to use so many different elements?" Kurenai asked as the 2 Chunin in the back glowed with pride. You two sure made it hard for anyone to expect anything from him. The Hokage said, making Iruka and Mizuki smile. He told us he planned to help you retire, so we trained him to fight anything that could show up. Mizuki said with a smirk. Naruto can use all 5 elements with ease. We spent hours teaching him how to identify opponents. Naruto is what a person would consider an analytic fighter. Iruka said, making everyone look at him in confusion. We pounded him with all the information available on Fuinjutsu, Genjutsu, Kenjutsu, Ninjutsu and Taijutsu. If it uses chakra, Naruto will have a way to identify it and counter it. He hasn't mastered one field, but he can easily use them for his advantage. Mizuki said as the mouths of the Junin dropped. His massive chakra reserves and the ridiculous dexterity of his body makes him someone that can last a long time fighting. The last time we sparred with him while taking turns, it took us 5 hours to take him down. Not to mention all the books we have him reading about strategy and fighting. Naruto's IQ is over 200 when it comes to battle. Iruka said, making the Hokage laugh. Oh, and chakra is weakened on him. I think it might have something to do with his cloak. He told us it was made by imp. If a jutsu is too weak, it will literally bounce off him, same with weapons. Mizuki said, making the Hokage look at him. Thank you for the detailed explanation. Asuma, Kurenai, how did your team do? The Hokage said, making his son turn to him. The cigarette in the Junin's mouth fell out since he was still surprised at what they learned about the one considered the dead last. They passed, took them a while though, but teamwork was easy for them. Asuma said before looking at the Chunin leave. My team needs some work, but they learned from their mistakes. Kurenai said as Mizuki closed the door of the room. Is that all the teams that passed? The Hokage said as the room stayed quiet. Then I wish you the best of luck. The Hokage said before standing and leaving. Naruto had been with his team for over a month and he didn't like how they cut into his training. Kakashi's team training seemed pointless to him since the other two couldn't keep up with his speed, nor were they in sync with him to harm the Junin. By the end of the day, it ended up with Naruto having to spar Kakashi on his own. Iruka and Mizuki weren't lying about him lasting a long time. Kakashi thought after Naruto had kept attacking him for over an hour after his teammates burned out. That's enough, it's time for a mission. Kakashi said with his eye smile. Sakura and Sasuke groaned as they were left behind by their teammates. Naruto walked with Kakashi at his side while reading a book on the theory of using chakra to amplify a person's body. A subject he found extremely interesting. Kakashi stopped and so did Naruto. They were a few feet in front of the tower as a team. Kakashi didn't think his students were ready for turn to them. My eternal rival, are you here to request a mission as well? A man wearing all green said as he did a pose. Huh, did you say something? Kakashi said, making the green beast scream. My hip rival, what a cool way to throw me off. Guy said before looking at Naruto as he walked past him and his team towards the tower. I see you're passing your hip ways to your student. Guy said as Naruto entered the building. He must have felt it would kill his brain cells staying any longer near you. Kakashi said as the two teams entered the tower. Well then, I expect to hear good things from you three. The Hokage said as Iruka and Mizuki stood in front of Naruto. We'll be borrowing Naruto for a while. Mizuki said before the three left the mission briefing room. Bring him back in one piece. Kakashi said, making the mouth of Guy and the genin drop. And here I thought you were going to stop them. The Hokage said, making Kakashi turn to him. Why would I? Naruto is more than capable of working with others. We're here for a mission. Kakashi said, making the Hokage nod his head and reach into the ever-endless D-rank missions. Guy-sensei, is that allowed? The mini green beast said, making his instructor turn to him. If the genin is skilled enough, yes. Guy said, wondering what was going to happen with the black-clad boy. Naruto and his Chunin instructors were training as clones did the petty D-rank missions. The clients and people around watched with awe as the strange scene would unfold throughout the village. Naruto had done 10 missions with ease and was sitting down in a restaurant with the Chunin. I think that was good for today. By the end of the week you should have enough D ranks to qualify for a C. Now Naruto, since you are special, we can't let you spend too much time outside the village. Iruka said, making Naruto study him. You're to become Konoha's hidden ace, so we need to move as fast as possible when we start heading out the village. Also, to secure your safety, we will be doing missions with other teams nearby in case something goes wrong. Mizuki said, making Naruto nod his head. Let's go turn these in so that we can go home. Iruka said as the three stood in union and placed enough money to pay for their orders. Naruto had gotten upset that the Hokage made him do twice as much D ranks than normal, but he understood since he was using clones. 2 months passed as Naruto would do his team training and daily spar with Kakashi, then a C rank mission in the afternoon with Iruka and Mizuki. They would sometimes return late at night, and on Friday they did a weekend mission since Team 7 was off during those days. Naruto had grown with experience, his training time had dropped, but the spar with Kakashi and the Chunin was keeping him far higher than many his age and even older could reach. Iruka and Mizuki could already qualify for Junin with ease but never knew it. Naruto and his 2 instructors landed outside a battlefield. Team 8 were protecting a caravan as it traveled, but the bandits had a rogue from Suna that used poison to make it hard for them to fight. "You got 5 minutes, Mizuki said as Naruto reached for his scythe. "Starting now," Iruka said as Naruto disappeared. He appeared in front of the fallen Hinata. She had collapsed since her body had taken in too much poison. Naruto did a full sweep with his scythe, cutting through 4 bandits. Hinata watched with awe and horror as Naruto finished the enemies before she fainted. Kurenai defeated her opponent with a genjutsu and turned to her team. They were already being treated by Iruka and Mizuki. Naruto was hiding in the tree line since he was supposed to stay as hidden as possible. Thanks for the assist. The rogue wasn't supposed to show up. Nor the fact they used some sort of poison trap. Kurenai said after Iruka and Mizuki turned to her. "We're Konoha-nin, we watch each other's back," Mizuki said before Hinata made some noise. "Naruto-kun," the shy girl said, making Kurenai look at the Chunin. She turned to the bandits and noticed their wounds were too big for anything the men had on them. She was going to say something before the Chunin disappeared with Shushin. "Now all we have to do is wait for your team to become strong enough for the Chunin exams, and then we can take you to more challenging missions," Iruka said as they entered the gates of the village. "Go rest, brat, and we will report tomorrow," Mizuki said as the 3 vanished to different directions. Naruto was surprised when he found someone sitting at the front of his apartment. "Hello Naruto, it's you," Ino said after Naruto shook her awake with his hand. "May I come in?" Ino said after Naruto opened his door. He looked at her for a moment before deciding to let her in. "Thanks, this place looks so plain," Ino said as she saw the apartment Naruto had. It was small since it was full of shelves with books. Naruto placed his scythe on his bed before heading to the fridge and bringing out some juice cans for them to drink. Imp crawled out of his cloak and scurried to under the bed. "What was that?" Ino said as she turned to look at the bed. Naruto got up and went to a cabinet and brought out a bag of lizard food. "You have a pet," Ino said, making Naruto look at her with confusion. He never thought of Imp like that. "What's his name?" Ino said before a bell rang on Naruto's clock. "Oh god, it's late, my dad is going to kill me. I got to go," Ino said, standing up. "Before I forget, I wanted to know if we can spar on Sunday, even for just a little while," Ino said, making Naruto look at her in confusion again. "You're the strongest guy. The first no and a mission went bad the other day, I don't want to feel helpless again," Ino said, making Naruto nod his head in understanding. "I'll see you on Sunday then," Ino said before rushing out of his apartment. She didn't even finish her juice, Naruto said after closing the door. He took the half-full can and finished it. Naruto was surprised he was standing with his team and not the Chunin as they were in the mission briefing room. Iruka and Mizuki have returned to their jobs as instructors at the academy. The Hokage said, already knowing the question Naruto wanted to ask. He only nodded his understanding. "I deserve some extra missions. These chores you have given me is not worthy of Uchiha Sasuke," the raven-haired boy said, making Sakura release a sigh. She had grown tired of hearing Sasuke talk to himself in the third person. "You have enough missions under your belt for something special," the Hokage said before signaling for a man to be let in. "So these the brats that are going to defend me?" a drunk said before his eyes grew when he saw Naruto standing next to Kakashi. "Now that is more like it," Tetsuna said as he walked over to Naruto to study him. "Yup, these two will do greatly," Tetsuna said, smiling at the Hokage. "Good, but I'll like to have you know that Sakura and Sasuke are considered the best in their graduating class," the Hokage said while struggling to keep a straight face. "Really?" Tetsuna said with doubt in his voice as he turned to look at the smaller genin. "Team 7, the Hokage said with a serious face, making them line up and look at him. Tetsuna is a very important and skilled bridge builder. You are to escort him while he finishes a bridge in his home country of Wave. The Hokage said, getting Naruto to nod as his team responded with a hi. The mission will take a month, so make the necessary preparations. You are to leave in an hour, the Hokage said before tossing Kakashi a scroll. Meet up at the West Gate, Kakashi said as Naruto disappeared with Shushin. Team 7 was at the gate and were waiting for the last member to show up. Naruto tapped his scythe on a tree, making his team and Tetsuna turn behind them. How long have you been there? Sakura asked. 10 minutes, I'm surprised you didn't notice him, Kakashi said before following after the walking Naruto. Is there a chance we might run into shinobi? Sakura said after an hour of walking. Normally no, on missions like this such a thing is rare. Besides, Wave is not a country that has a ninja force and it is located between two major villages, so they don't need one, Kakashi said, making Sakura more relaxed. Another hour passed before they came upon a weird sight. It was weird to Naruto's eyes. There was a puddle of water on the ground. He quickly tuned back and got a nod from Kakashi. Naruto slowed his pace and was now walking in between Sakura and Sasuke. They walked over the puddle. A few moments later Kakashi did the same, but not before two shinobi appeared out of the substance and wrapped him up. To the genin horror and that of Tetsuna, the Junin had been cut to pieces. That's one, the taller shinobi said before he got punched in the face by Naruto. The cloaked figure turned and blocked a clawed arm with his scythe. No, this can't be happening. Naruto is too strong to lose to them, Sakura thought as she saw Naruto give ground to the Kiri Nin. Naruto turned and let his opponent slide past him so that he could dodge another claw. Naruto! Sakura yelled as she saw him be suddenly tied up by the two brothers. To her horror, he was viciously cut by the chains since they had not been able to scratch the scythe. The chains came loose and Naruto fell to his knees. Sasuke growled with rage before making seals. He launched a ball of fire at the two nin. They separated their chain and took two different paths to kill Tetsuna. Sakura stood in front of Tetsuna with a kunai, but tears were running down her face. She knew if Kakashi and Naruto didn't have a chance against them, how would she? Sasuke turned to block off the nin before his eyes grew. Tetsuna and Sakura were suddenly pulled back from the shoulders. Their eyes grew as Naruto stood in front of them unharmed. A kunai appeared on his right hand while a shuriken on his left. Chakra surrounded him before he threw the two weapons at each nin charging him. The eyes of the Kiri and Konoha nin grew as one projectile suddenly became 100 and stabbed into the Kiri nin. Shuriken Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. That's a technique the Hokage used during the war, Kakashi said as he appeared next to Naruto. Both disappeared for a moment and reappeared with their fists smacked into the stomach of the heavily injured shinobi. You threw with enough force to stop them but not enough to kill them. You also missed their vital organs on purpose. I'm impressed, Kakashi said after tying up the men to a tree. But how? Sakura said as Kakashi and Naruto walked up to her and Tetsuna. Kawarimi, Sasuke said as Sakura looked at the spot she thought had been the death sites of her teammates. There was a shredded log and one with deep wounds with a scythe. The scythe disappeared and reappeared in Naruto's hand before he placed it on Tetsuna's neck. Now Naruto, there is other ways to get information, no need to use violence, Kakashi said as Tetsuna paled. Well, that was an interesting story, Kakashi said after Tetsuna spent half an hour trying to guilt them into continuing the mission. Naruto placed his scythe on his back. He was ready to help but wasn't going to force his team into doing anything they were not ready for. He locked eyes with Kakashi before both of them looked at Sakura. You're the smart one, Sakura, what should we do? Kakashi said, making Sasuke look at him in disbelief. It wasn't right for him to lie and get us almost killed, Sakura said with a shaky voice before she felt Naruto place a hand on his shoulder. She turned to him and somehow felt her body fill with strength. But we're shinobi, it would be a disgrace for the village if we don't help, Sakura said with determination. I'm glad you feel that way, let's continue, Kakashi said, making Tetsuna release a sigh. It soon left when Naruto's scythe appeared at his neck again. This has now become an A- rank mission. You will pay the difference when Wave gets on its feet again, Kakashi said, making the bridge builder nod his head. So friends, this was part 1 of this dark and mysterious journey. If you enjoyed it and want the next part soon, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also comment down your thoughts. What kind of power do you think this Darkblade truly holds? I'll see you in the next part.